Hey, I'm just making a quick video because there was a user recently reported an issue with printing for an aligner case. He went ahead and set up six models on the SprintRay software or RayWare. SprintRay is 3D software for their MoonRay printer, and he also set up the same print on the Formlabs Preform software, and he wanted to kind of compare, see how the two behaved, and I think it's excellent. It's great to see these kind of reviews and side-by-side comparisons. So if you look closely, it's probably not hard to see this on this screen, but it says 3 hours and 13 minutes for the MoonRay print, and then it says 4 hours down here for the Formlabs print. So one thing I want you to keep in mind is that 3 hours and 13 minutes. And so let's go through and see the results he had. Very, concerning. You can see where it basically kind of squished here, delaminated, and it happened across, I believe, all of his prints uniformly. There you go. You can see them all kind of peeled up and compressed, and obviously not going to work. And then this is his Formlabs print, and it came out perfectly. So the question is well, why? And I do want to point out one thing. You notice how straight this model is here, and this is curved. That threw me off at first. I thought it had worked. It's not the case. Just I want to throw that out there in case that makes you kind of wonder. It's just the models, the 3D models are shaped the same way. But anyway, so that's pretty concerning. I don't blame him for being concerned about that. So I asked him if I could take a look at these files and take a look at myself to see if I could find the problem. So I want to walk you through this right quick and show you kind of the approach. So here's the software. Here's the RayWare software, and here is the files that he sent me. These same 6 files. So I'm going to load them in the RayWare software. You'll see each one loading real quickly. And so here they are. They're all lined up, ready to go. But now you can see this red. This tells me that it's outside the bounds. So I'm going to have to go ahead and position these right quick. Not too big of a deal. Just spin these all around. Start lining them up. And here we go. So we've got 6 models on here. Come over here to the print, and you can see that on 100 micron resolution on the gray, it's 3 hours and 13 minutes. So looks like we're going to have the same thing. Once again, remember, notice that looking like it's really straight here and curved there. Again, you can see that's just how the arch is. So, okay, well, should this print? In my mind, yeah, of course. In his mind, it should. But then I decided to look closer to see why it didn't print. And if you look right here, if you zoom in, you'll see that they're all angled. They're actually not touching the build platform. They're all touching right on this corner right here. If I spin around to this side, they're completely off the build platform. In other words, this flat base to them is not flat to the build platform. It looks like it at first glance, and you just kind of assume, you take it for granted, and you try to print, and literally this is the first point in the first layer right here prints, and then everything's success after that. I honestly don't even know how the print worked at all. To me, it seems like it should fail. I think there was probably some surface tension, some liquid that kind of beat it up below it and helped, but it doesn't matter. It was doomed from the get-go. And to be honest, I might have sent them the exact same thing and just taken it for granted that they were flat. One reason I know this to be the case is you see that 3 hour 13 print time. That's what he had as well. And if I come over to this right here, select base, I can actually come right down here, click on that, it flattens out. Now I click on this one, select base. Sorry, click this one, select base, right there. Click this one, select base. I will say the Preform software is faster at this part. They just added this select base function to the software. You used to have to do this all in Mesh Mixer before you brought them in, and that was tedious, no question. Now it's here. It's still a little tedious in that you have to go one at a time like this, but still, and that doesn't take very long. And so here we go. So now they're all properly positioned. Let's go ahead and get this one. Let's rotate this back in line, and okay, so they should all print. Let's look at the time, 3 hours and 9 minutes. I'm not worried about cool, 4 minutes shaved off, but the reason it's 4 minutes shaved off is now they're actually flat and flush to the build platform. That's why you see them being flashed in like this, is they're coincident with the level of the build platform. So that was the issue. I went ahead and printed this exact same set of models, and it worked out perfectly. So I'm going to show some more pictures about some of the things I did. I actually ended up, I'll try to go through this quickly. I actually tried to see how efficient I could be with this, and I stacked these 6 models up, and I added 2 more. I really just duplicated one of these models. Let's see. Well, I'll just show you in the, to do it, duplicate, so now I've got 2 more. One of the things that's pretty cool about DLP printing as opposed to the SLA laser is that I've just added those. They're all flush. If I go to the print time, it's still 3 hours and 19 minutes. Because it doesn't care how much of the build platform is full. It only cares how many layers, how tall it is. Each layer is cured one at a time. Now, real quick, to show you the difference with Preform software and the reason it wasn't caught was when you bring these models into Preform. Let's see what happens. First of all, it does detect a break in the file. The MoonRay, the RayWare software automatically fixed it. That's good and bad because you like to know that it's broken, but it fixed it and it works fine. These are way out of whack, so you know right off the get-go that you're going to have to align these. And see, this is much faster. I can just click, click, click. I don't have to individually select them. Hopefully the SprintRay people will see this and see what I'm doing and notice that is pretty convenient. Now, I do have to rotate these to get these kind of lined up. I'm not sure why it rotates them so much. And right here. Another thing that's sort of a small detail, it is a little bit of annoyance because I'm not very patient, but with the Preform software, because what it does is, since it uses a laser, that it essentially cures each print or each pixel individually. To find out your print time, you gotta click down here and you gotta wait. It's not instantaneous. As you saw, I never had to do any loading because it just recognizes how many layers and it's done. This has to figure out effectively how many pixels there are. I may have a little overlap here. Please excuse it for the purpose of this video. It doesn't really matter, but we'll see. So 4 hours and 1 minute. Okay, so 4 hours compared to 3 hours and 9 minutes. Now notice that was 6 models or 8 models. If I try to go ahead and duplicate this, get 2 more models in here. Let's close this. Stack these up fairly efficiently. I could rotate to make it a little easier. Okay, so now I've got 8 models, just like the 3 hour 9 minute that maintained. This was 4 hours and 1 minute. Now that I've added those 2 models, let's see what happens to the build platform, or the build time, because again, it's not one layer at a time, it's individual pixels, you might say, of the print. And here we go. Again, I'm very impatient, but 4 hours and 46 minutes. So as you add objects to the build platform, it adds time. So one last little demonstration, and I hadn't planned to do this on video, but I might as well. Let's go ahead and click, yeah, sorry, I always forget where that is. Let's duplicate all of these. Okay, let's bring these all down here. Dang it, didn't mean to do that. I just rotated this a little bit. That will skew our results. Okay. Size is a little tedious. Okay, so we've got this. I know they're out of order, but it just doesn't really matter. Just trying to be quick about this. This one in the middle here. This one, and there's another one in here somewhere. Okay, so now I'm going to try to move these around, make sure none of them are overlapping. I know these are. These are fine. It looks like they're all in there. So let's go ahead and see what the print time is. Now that we've got twice as many models. So this 3 hour 9 minute, conceivable you would double it if you want to do it twice with, you know, eight models times 2. You're going to be at 6 hours and 18 minutes. Plus, with tear the models off once, which will take you about 5-10 minutes. Really not that long even, but we'll say 5-10 minutes. So you're looking at 6.5 hours. I think it's a fair estimate. 6.5 hours for 16 models on this software. Let's see what it looks like with 6.5. Yeah, I thought I said 16.5. All right, 7 hours and 51. So for the same 16 models, you've got, yes, you only have to remove the models once, but for the same 16 models, it's going to take you almost 8 hours, and this is going to take you around 6.5 hours to do this, to do print twice, strip the build platform once, giving yourself 5 to 10 minutes to knock the models off and wipe it off and put it back in there. Again, that really should take 2 minutes, but we'll just estimate at 10. Yeah, so you get 6.5 hours versus on nearly 8 hours. All right, well, hopefully that gives you a fairly thorough rundown. Again, I don't want this to sound like I'm complaining about this, because this is great not having to think about it. You set print and you walk back 8 hours later and you've got 16 models. That is excellent. And for a high production lab or office that's doing a ton of aligner cases, it's great. And I love my Form 2 printer. I use it regularly, almost every single day. I am not against it. I only believe that the MoonRay software, or MoonRay printer, gets a little bit of the short hand of the stick, and I think it works actually really well. And as I get a lot of questions, which printer should I buy? My first question is, what are you going to do with it? If this is all you're doing, is this, it's probably easier just to have this and have it pumping out. But if you're not going to be doing full platform, build platform prints all the time, the MoonRay's speed is pretty nice. And not only that, its material offerings. It has a lot more variety of materials, dental, with regard to dental use. So, okay, I hope this clears up some of the confusion. I'll probably try to include some pictures in this post. All right, thanks for listening.